The NFL draft has become a spectacle like no other. Hundreds of thousands of football fans flock to Green Bay to celebrate the future of their favorite teams. Guess where it's headed next year? Oh yeah, baby. I need to get ready for my future banning from all public events near the Three Rivers. To prepare for such an occasion, I need to get my butt to more games. You know how I do that? You already know SeatGeek, the sponsor of this video. To scour the resale market for tickets, their app is my go-to for getting to any game or event I desire. SeatGeek sorts all tickets from red to green on a 1 to 10 scale. Remember, Packer green is good, red bad. Even get a view from where you'll be sitting. Now cue those glorious words. Use code TREE to save $20 off your first purchase. I need to train for next year. I certainly won't be announcing a pick on the podium, but I'll definitely be using SeatGeek to find tickets for games. But enough talk, let's go right to Goodell.
Come on. With the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Cameron Ward, quarterback, Miami.
The most shockingly unsurprising pick in this entire draft. A no-star recruit rising from the muck to become the generational talent the Titans were gunning for. I don't know about that, he's got some work to do, but Ward offers hope in an age of Will Levis memes. The mold of the modern NFL quarterback. A franchise-caliber talent if developed properly. The Titans are going all in, adding support to their man on all fronts. Even franchise legend Warren Moon has offered his legendary number 1 to Cam in a new era. Somewhere in the wind, Mel Kiper's bitching up a storm about Shedeur Sanders being better. Whatever you say, buddy.
And with the second pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Travis Hunter, wide receiver, defensive back from Colorado.
Jacksonville got the game-changing talent that they desperately need in the secondary. And at wideout alongside Brian Thomas. The kind of man that would pair well with a certain Trevor Lawrence. They'll have their delicious goods from Cleveland, but it's gonna cost an arm and a leg. To move up 3 selections and give up next year's first as well as their second? The Jags should be showing significant improvement next year, right? With Hunter, it should be worth it, but you never know. The Panthers thought that about Bryce Young as a rookie.
The New York Giants select Abdul Carter, defensive end, Penn State.
Kayvon Thibodeau, your job's in jeopardy. They ain't cutting Brian Burns anytime soon, that's for sure. The upside of Abdul Carter is immense, but he's more of a Trayvon Walker than a finished product. To be fair, Walker's developed very well in Jacksonville, so give him a few years and he should be good to go. But those kind of raw attributes he has make scouts cream themselves. Clay to be molded into an elite pass rusher that can chase down the likes of Hurts and Daniels. You won't be getting number 56 from Lawrence Taylor, though, Abdul. You'll have to forge your own identity in the NFL.
The New England Patriots select Will Campbell, tackle, LSU.
What the hell does this guy look like, JonTron? Am I the only one seeing this, or am I just losing my mind? That being said, the Patriots desperately needed offensive line help. How can I tell? Might be the fact they boast quite possibly the worst O-line in the NFL. Might be the franchise QB they need to protect. May needs weapons, but that won't matter if he turns into primordial soup. Campbell and his alleged T-Rex arm should do the trick. Look, I don't care about his arm size. If he can block opposing edge rushers, he'll have a role. New England's running pylons over there right now.
The Cleveland Browns select Mason Graham, defensive tackle, Michigan.
Cleveland picking a Michigan boy. That's a bold move to make with the Buckeyes a few hours southeast. Although with the monsters in the rushing attack in the AFC North, Graham's perfect for that gauntlet. Filling a hole in the defensive line for hopefully a good bit to come. Right next to the $40 million man, of course. The Browns won the early part of the draft. Getting a future first and the guy you truly want is a solid bit of business. Rust, I don't get the whole drafting 2 running backs and 2 quarterbacks thing. I get Nick Chubb's gone and Deshaun's the living regret, but really? Sounds like a logjam waiting to happen.
The Las Vegas Raiders select Ashton Genty, running back, Boise State.
Raiders and a running back were as much of a match as peanut butter and chocolate. Did you see how bad the Silver and Black were at running the rock last year? Their best rusher was a mere fucking Abdullah. If a Raiders fan doesn't have to see Zamir White run right into his own lineman every week, it'll be celebrated for years on end. If Genty comes anywhere close to his hype, they won't have to worry about that. He's the most prestigious running back in the draft since Saquon. Good company to be in. Now, if he can perform like he did at Boise State's another question entirely.
The New York Jets select Armand Membu, Missouri.
New York's still trying to fix their mess of an offensive line and offense in general. Tyron Smith's stopgap didn't work. I think him retiring might have confirmed it. But I think Jets fans are just happy Aaron Rodgers is gone. Membu's a quality right tackle, so they'll pair him with Olufashinu for what will hopefully be a decade. In theory. If the Jets develop him is the real question. The injury bug's taken out a few of their previous line projects. The new regime is warding off evil spirits in East Rutherford to make sure it doesn't happen again.
The Carolina Panthers select Shedeur McMillan.
Oh!
Wide receiver, Arizona.
Bryce Young needs weapons. Most wideout picks they made in recent times have been complete flops, or if you're an optimistic Xavier League, it needs more time. Saging Adam Thielen and trash over there. What that translates to is digging for another elite receiver. They haven't had one since they shipped off DJ Moore. Now imagine the guy with size. That's Tetaroa. As long as he's learned to watch game film, he should be okay. Or not rip Todd McShay's head off. Panthers fans were clamoring for defense with this pick, but that can wait.
The New Orleans Saints select Kelvin Banks Jr., tackle, Texas.
Figured they'd go quarterback here. With all the issues they're having with a broken down car. Then again, Ryan Ramczyk suffered a career-ending injury, so this was the more pressing need. The first-round QB drought in the Bayou will continue on. 2 straight tackles in the first round should beef up their O-line. Kelvin's kid channeled anyone who follows the Saints and puked on live television. It might be a harbinger of things to come. In typical Mickey Loomis fashion, they looked at Tyler Shuck as their franchise future. He who was born in 1999. He who backed up Justin Herbert at Oregon. That's how long he's been in college. Shades of Chris Wenke and John Beck.
The Chicago Bears select Colston Loveland, tight end, Michigan.
Wow.
Ooh, now we get ourselves a spicy pick in an age of predictability. Once Ben Johnson couldn't get Gene T, he probably lost his mind in a padded room. They finally beat Green Bay, Chicago, but at what cost? Tyler Warren was ranked as the so-called better tight end, but Loveland most likely fits more of a scheme need for the Bears. You need boys that can block on the edge. And Chicago's been beefing up their interior O-line this spring. Anything to prevent Caleb from dying behind the line of scrimmage. So what does this mean for Cole Kmet? Are his days numbered here, or are they running a 2 tight end system?
The San Francisco 49ers select Michael Williams, defensive end, Georgia.
Part of me figured the Niners would go tackle here. Mostly because of a gigantic Trent Williams hole that needs to be filled in the near future. Then again, for San Francisco's off-season, they just needed men that could fit under the cap and do a job. Are you a living person that plays defense? Come on down to the Niners. The first 5 picks were all on that side of the ball, including Upton Stout, now served by a mustachioed millennial at a hipster bar. Williams' issue was an ankle injury that took him out for a chunk of last year. If he can stay off the IR, better chance of luck. Bad team to go to if you want health, though.
The Dallas Cowboys select Tyler Booker, guard, Alabama.
I have a hunch that the Cowboys wanted to trade down from here, but nobody was willing to dance with them. That's the only reason I have for Dallas reaching for need. And it was a dire need. Zach Martin's retirement has them scrambling for a long-term replacement. Tyler Booker doesn't just have snarl, he has the desire to suffocate a man's love for the damn sport in the trenches. He's one step away from ripping out a defender's heart and eating it in front of them. Those kind of guys tend to do well in the NFL. Jerry Boy's gonna make him a headliner if he does.
The Miami Dolphins select Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle, Michigan.
In Miami, Chris Greer looks longingly on a picture of Christian Wilkins. Even if he didn't do well last year, it's a big hole to fill. Kenneth Grant is his next attempt to replace him. What he could be is what GMs fantasize about. A space eater that makes offenses a living hell. A man who will change the culture. A man who Greer prays will save his ass. Even then, might not have that luck. I'd say the bigger issue is that Teron Armstead retirement that happened a few weeks ago, but Miami getting kicked in the nuts by fate tends to be a standard occurrence.
The Indianapolis Colts select Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State.
Warren to the Colts was the most Colts pick that Indy could ever make. The dude was just so Colts-coded it's not even funny. Indianapolis needed a tight end in the worst possible way. Tyler Warren is a highly regarded one. Congratulations, here's your newest weapon for Anthony Richardson. Or Danny Derps. Part of me feels like that's the real prank instead of the crank all he got when the Jets were picking. But he should be good, as long as someone can reliably get him the ball.
The Atlanta Falcons select Jalen Walker, defensive end, Georgia.
So now the Falcons choose to address the gaping hole they have at edge. About damn time. Jalen Walker's one of the best edge rushers in the draft and fell right into Atlanta's lap. Georgia boy staying put in Georgia, a match made in heaven. The Panthers may have passed him up, but he can make them eat shit twice a year now. as long as his size doesn't hold him back. Never stop Nolan Smith. Better late than never on fixing issues, I guess.
The Arizona Cardinals select Walter Nolan, defensive tackle, Mississippi.
Arizona could have taken this draft in a bunch of different ways and done fine. Jonathan Gannon wants to beef up the defensive line. Josh Sweat's a start, but he needs a premium 3-tech defensive tackle as well. The dream of Walter Nolan is ideal. Shit wrecker. Chaos bringer and deliverer of pain to quarterbacks everywhere. Ideally. There are some grumblings of him being comparable to Albert Hainsworth. His Redskins form, that is. But give him some time to cook. This one might be a stroke of genius.
The Cincinnati Bengals select Shamar Stewart, defensive end, Texas A&M.
Throw a dart in a billboard. The Bengals needed anything resembling defensive help. It could be their mess of a secondary, the need to replace Jermaine Pratt, or, bear with me, find a replacement or partner for Trey Hendrickson. I don't think Cincy can pay him and field a competent roster of 53 men. Even if they do keep him, Shamar has to be better than Sam Hubbard was last year, right? Look, the bar is insanely low for Cincy defense right now. If he sacks Lamar, he'll be gifted Skyline Chili for life. Solid defense and O-line for the Bengals in this draft. No surprise there.
The Seattle Seahawks select Gray Zabel, guard, North Dakota State.
The Seahawks didn't pick an offensive lineman here. I feel like they would have Chichescu'd their executive branch by the pier. Seattle defied their constant addiction to trading down in the draft by standing pat. You can get a lineman from the powerhouse that's North Dakota State, you do it. Not joking, they are a powerhouse. Gray Zabel may sound like a Sherwin-Williams painkiller, but Duke can block like no one's business. They'll need it too. Anthony Bradford kinda sucks at guard, as in he shouldn't be starting. Logic in Seattle. Insane.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Emeka Ibuka, wide receiver, Ohio State.
I can hear the shock from Tampa itself. The Bucs picking a wideout? What in the world? It makes a lot more sense when you look deeper into it. Mike Evans is in his early 30s. Chris Godwin's coming off a major injury and may not be the same. You have to keep your bases covered. Ibuka's been a top prospect in the NFL for as long as he's been in the collegiate ranks. He was hyped, then overhyped, then fatigue kicked in and everything leveled out. His style of play complements the other receivers around him well. When you're a perfectionist like him, you won't settle for less. What's funny about the Bucs is they brought in the lightest and heaviest players available. Try running the tush push against these fuckers. I dare ya.
The Denver Broncos select Jahdae Barron, DB, Texas.
Everyone and their mother had the Broncos taking a running back or wideout. I did too. But when Jahdae Barron and his ability falls in your lap, you can't blink twice. Potential of having a shutdown corner tandem mile high with Pat Surtain. Every defense enthusiast is getting as stiffy as I utter those words. It may not be the pick Broncos fans wanted, but it's the one that's got the highest upside. It's a division with Mahomes, Herbert, and whatever the Raiders chuck out there. Good corners are paramount. Got a running back in day 2, you'll be fine.
The Pittsburgh Steelers select Derek Harmon, defensive tackle, Oregon.
Steelers didn't reach for an overrated quarterback. I feel like the shackles of shame have been freed from me for more than 5 seconds. Then I realized that Aaron Rodgers is still holding the franchise hostage and nothing changes. 9-8 Super Bowl will be the reward for time eternal. Derek Harmon was a need, though. Cam Hayward's nearing his late 30s and the TJ Watt trade rumors spread like wildfire. Pittsburgh's been about defense and aren't changing shit about it. It was a very Steelers draft and Harmon's a very Steelers player. It's a bittersweet pick, too. Harmon's mom was on life support at the time of the draft. Derek was able to tell her he got drafted before she passed. Kind of moment Hollywood writes about in sappy movies. Mel Kiper weeps, but for a different reason.
The Los Angeles Chargers select Omarion Hampton, running back, North Carolina.
Jim Harbaugh and a really good running back tandem is as much of an addiction as chain-smoking grandmas and slot machines. Thunder and lightning need to be brought back, but with more durable wares. Najee Harris signed from Pittsburgh as the power, Omarion Hampton is the counterpart. Although they're oddly similar in their style. Speed, size, and some punch to his running. I honestly expected him to be a cowboy because Jerry Jones. Figured that the Chargers would go wide out here, but I guess they enjoy suffering through Quentin Johnston. Ladd McConkey and the return of Keenan Allen do cure a lot of ills.
The 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers, for the first time since 2002, draft a wide receiver.
Listen to this crowd.
Oh, baby. Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas.
Holy shit. The Packers drafted a wideout in the first round? I feel like we finally got Half-Life 3. A premium weapon for Jordan Love. One that hopefully features that wonderful consistency that Green Bay wideouts seem to lack. The green and golden memes flood all of Wisconsin. Flexible, versatile, and cerebral. Everyone loves it. Except for Christian Watson's dad. I respect the fan service with hosting the draft in Green Bay. Although going with number 22 as a receiver? We've gone too far, we need to go back.
The Minnesota Vikings select Donovan Jackson, guard, Ohio State.
Vikings fans are all but planning their Super Bowl parade at this instance. They managed to get rid of Ed Ingram, got the Texans to pay assets for that offensive black hole, and got his replacement at guard in the first round? Jack fucking Pot. J.J. McCarthy needs protection, especially as a glorified rookie. Jackson, they're hoping, is more of a Christian Darrisaw in terms of outcome. In time, that could be a reality. Minnesota only had 5 picks in this draft, they had to make it count. It tends to happen when you sign 19 undrafted free agents.
The New York Giants select Jackson Dart, quarterback,
Wow.
Mississippi.
It happened. The New York Giants got the quarterback of their dreams. That wouldn't be Shedeur. Instead, it would be their answer to Zach Wilson, the ultimate boomer bust prospect. Potential out the wazoo, but I have a hard time having faith in a guy who sounds like a character in a really bad 90s kid show. Stay tuned for the tubular trials of Jackson Dart, only on the Family Channel. Giants fans are molding on sports talk radio, but it's not like Daniel Jones, guys. This guy could pan out. New York didn't give up that much to trade up for him. If it pisses you off, they'll appease you with Cam Scatterbo. He brings a lunch pail to work. Doesn't matter though, Mel Kiper's still flipping shit about Shedeur.
The Atlanta Falcons select James Pierce Jr., defensive end, Tennessee.
Okay, Atlanta, I know you neglected the shit out of your edge rushers last year, but you might have swung the pendulum too far the other way. James Pierce is a fine player, that ain't the problem. It's trading up for him with the Rams. Giving up next year's first for pick 26? Jimmy Johnson sitting in his house having conniptions at the horrible trade value on display. LA went from fucking them picks to loving them. But 2 SEC stalwarts of the Falcons gamble on fixing a dire issue. It better work out though. Only thing worse would be if the son of their new defensive coordinator goes on a crank calling spree. Oh wait.
The Baltimore Ravens select Malachi Starks, defensive back, Georgia.
Safety going to Baltimore? It's over. Hack it in, Malachi Starks is probably going to become the next elite stalwart of the Ravens defense. I don't care if I'm falling into stereotypes. Those picks usually tend to be developed by that machine. The dude was homeless at one point in his life. He wowed the Ravens in his interview. It's a slam dunk success story waiting to happen. It doesn't even finish with him. Mike Green may have a rap sheet a mile long with allegations of sexual assault, but he'll succeed because this is what the Ravens do with defenders. It's fucking magic.
The Detroit Lions select Tyleik Williams, defensive tackle, Ohio State.
Detroit's in a position where they could pretty much take a few positions in the first round and have success. Aiden Hutchinson needs a wingman on the defensive line. A guy who can stuff the rush so Aiden can work his magic. That's Tyleik Williams. In revenge for Cleveland taking Mason Graham, Michigan takes their pound of Buckeye flesh. To defeat the likes of Saquon and Josh Jacobs in the NFC, elite run stuffing is needed. Williams thrives in that regard. Now, if he can develop pass rushing ability as well, game over.
The Washington Commanders select Josh Connerly Jr.
Here we go.
Tackle, Oregon.
Jaden Daniels is the future. Getting Laramie Tunsil's a good start, but he'll need more protection up front. Behold the reason for yet another offensive lineman going in the first round. Build in the trenches, a tale as old as time in the NFL. Connerly's a versatile type, so plug him in anywhere and let him shine. Sam Cosmi's going to be out for a good bit, and Andrew Wiley's a free agent after next year. Connerly's skill will be needed. They'll hopefully be headlining back where they belong. In D.C. at the site of RFK Stadium. Dan Snyder's burning in his $6 billion hell, and I love it.
With the 30th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Maxwell Harrison. Let's go!
It is a glorious day in Buffalo. No more Kyer Elam. He's Dallas's problem now. Maxwell Hairston was such a Buffalo pick it was all but a lock from the moment pick 20 came around. Did you see him dap up every prospect that was drafted before him? He's a natural in the locker room. Speed to burn and the swagger of an alpha dog. Solid hands for a corner and versatility in the secondary. It's almost perfect. Almost. There was a sexual assault allegation back in high school, but Buffalo did their due diligence, so I trust their judgment. If you don't, they'll get snippy with you on the radio. They don't want another Matariza situation. Exonerated in the end or not.
The Philadelphia Eagles select Jihad Campbell, linebacker, Alabama.
So the Eagles make a wise trade up to fill a hole at middle linebacker, but an Alabama product in a front seven full of Bulldogs? Interesting. Relax, they only traded up one spot and gave up a throwaway day 3 pick. Besides, Campbell's local to the Philly area. If he dominates at this level, he becomes a god in that city for life. A Swiss Army knife on a defense full of incredible riches. Reload and keep firing. All the Eagles need to do from this point on. Howie Roseman's got the Midas touch. What did he do to acquire it?
The Kansas City Chiefs select Josh Simmons, tackle, Ohio State.
Kansas City got an extra 5th-round pick and still got the guy they wanted with a 5th-year option. Another in a long line of offensive linemen taken in the 1st. The Chiefs needed offensive line help badly. Broken record in this draft, I know. Left tackle was a gigantic hole that needed filled. We're down to a rehabbing DJ Humphries. Trust me, it was bad. Josh Simmons is going to be thrust into a starting position probably on day 1 for that reason. Meanwhile, at the end of day 1, Mel Kiper is furiously punching his Bill Tobin body pillow in a Green Bay hotel room. Is there someone else we're forgetting about? Did someone remember to take Shedeur out of the car? He's baking in the sun, isn't he? He lasted past day 2. They picked Jalen Milroe and Dylan Gabriel over him. Tyler Shuck. The dude was in college for 7 years and the Saints saw him as a better option. So those interview rumors that leaked might have had some serious smoke to them. Then you start putting the pieces together. Reeking of arrogance and entitlement. Throwing teammates under the bus. Dude didn't throw at the combine. Dude was more interested in wearing fancy bling at his opulent draft party. Dude completely bombed with the Giants. And then he got prank called by some college boys. Dealing with all that and having Dion potentially breathe down your neck? He doesn't have the transcendent talent to overcome it. Shit-eating of the highest order. Although that might be more Mel Kiper's whining. He'd fall all the way to the 5th round of the draft, when his weight would be mercy killed by the Browns? Why'd they do that? They drafted Gabriel in round 3. Yeah, Jimmy's meddling again. Look at how forced this applause is. That is definitely a Haslam pick if I've ever seen it. Endless memeing aside, there's one question I have to ask. Did they really have to retire his jersey at Colorado? The dude didn't fucking do anything there. Most of his highlights are him being carried by Travis Hunter. Well, what's done is done. The next chapter will begin. Just like this video, it's Buffalo-over.
Green Bay, Wisconsin. How the hell are we doing?
This guy's good people. Speaking about raising money for St. Jude, he did a lot of that.
I fell in love with this team when I was 6 years old, and 28 years later to stand in front of you in Green Bay to announce the Packers pick, it doesn't get better than this.
It's good people. Good for him. That's a big moment. He means what he just said.
I appreciate the hell out of you. With the 237th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Green Bay mother-loving Packers select Micah Robinson, DB, Tulane.